Okay, in this video we're going to actually try out and review the Cideko Air Keyboard. It's a wireless 3D mouse keyboard. I did an unboxing on this device, and if you're interested in that, please check the link at the end of this video. Now, as you can see, this is a full QWERTY keyboard, but it's very small, it's very compact. Here's the size of my hand. I could pretty much palm this device. It's a little bit bigger than a wireless mouse, about the size of a game controller. Your buttons here are rubberized, and they have a nice click to them. Now, when I unboxed this device, I pretty much just guessed what these buttons were on top here, but as I'm looking in the manual, it tells me exactly what they are. Now, obviously, you have some directional buttons here. You have a right, left, up, and down. You have a center mouse key in the center of that there. So if you have the need for a center mouse click, you have it right there. This, of course, is your Windows button up here. You have some volume controls here, a mute button, a lower volume, an upper volume. You have some media controls here, a stop, previous, next, play and pause, and fast forward. This button here is not a back button. It's a button that will disable or enable the mouse function. Down here is a www button, and as you would expect, that would bring up your default browser on your computer. The next button here is for Microsoft Outlook. If you can't see, it's a little envelope icon there. You have a My Computer button here. You have a Search button here. You have a Calculator button and a Delete button. Now, this is an Air keyboard, so what that means is that when you move this, it will move the cursor, it will move the pointer on your screen, sort of like a Wiimote would. On the top of the remote up here, you have your right and left mouse button click. And it actually holds much like a game controller. On the USB dongle on the back here, it's neatly stored in the device itself, so you're not going to lose it. On this dongle, you actually have a button here, and that will help pair this if you have problems pairing the device. But it should pair right out of the box. You should be able to plug this straight into your computer and use it without any problems, without any drivers. So you can actually buy this at Amazon.com, at Walmart, at Newegg.com, at Fry's Electronics, and at NCIX.com if you're in Canada. It retails for $79.99, and you can actually use it on a PC, on a Mac, or even a PS3. But in my case, I'm going to use it on a PC. I'm pretty anxious to see how this works, so let's try it out. Okay, so I have my PC fired up here in my living room, and I'm going to take the USB dongle here and plug it in to the PC. And it's installing the device driver software, and it's ready to use. So here's the keyboard here, and as you might already be able to tell, I'm moving, as I move it, it's moving the mouse pointer on the screen. So I'm going to step back here and just see how this works. Pretty responsive. As I move it up and down, let me show you. As I move it, I could actually tilt it if I want, as you see there, and get very little range of motion in my wrist, but move it from top to bottom on the screen there. The same as with side to side. Very cool, actually, because like I said before, it holds like a game controller, and you can maneuver it on the screen pretty easily. And then let's see, double click there on Google Chrome, and then I could go to Netflix if I want, but I'm going to actually go to my YouTube page. I'm typing on the keyboard here. So here we go, I have my channel brought up here, and let's see, I'm hitting the up and down button so I can scroll down with that. Makes it a little easier. If I want, I can hold it down. There we go. And let me click on play on my latest video here. and it seems pretty loud.
Okay, in this video,
So
we're
let's
going
see
to
if
do
we can
another
actually bring
benchmark
down
on the
the
Asus
volume.
ePad transform
That's a mute.
benchmarks on this device, and if you want
lower
to
the
see the
volume
results
with
of
the-
those benchmarks, please click on the link at the end of this video. Also, I have a whole host of
lowering
other
the
videos
volume.
on this device, and you can click the link at the end of this video for those videos.
All right.
We're not necessarily
Now let's see if the
optimized
media
latest version of
buttons
Android.
work. That's pause and play.
As you can see here in this folder, I have
Let's see if the
7
stop button
benchmarking.
works. Stop pauses it, as you would expect on a YouTube video. Let's see if the rewind and fast forward buttons work. Okay, they don't. Probably they only work with media you have stored locally on your device, whether it's audio or video. Let's see, there's a mouse button here to disable it. And I just pressed that, and as you can see now I'm moving it, and it hasn't moved. But then if I repress it, it re-engages the mouse. I'm going to hit the Windows key now, and it brings up my Windows menu here, as it should. Let me X out of the browser here, and I'm going to hit my browser button, and it brings up my browser, as you would expect. I'm going to hit my Outlook button here, and let's see what it brings up. I don't have any mail client set up on this device, but it does bring up Windows Mail here, and it's probably going to want me to set it up, so I'm going to X out of that. The next button is my Computer button, and there we go. After that is a search button. So that brings up your Microsoft Search here. Then a calculator button, brings up my calculator. And then a delete button, so let me put something in here. And then hit delete, and there we go. So that works. So everything works really well on this device, and I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with it. It makes using a keyboard in a home theater setting much easier. You don't have to lug around a big bulky keyboard, and if you do want to type something, the typing is really easy. The device feels solid and not cheap. The buttons are rubberized and they click really nicely when you use them. You have a full QWERTY keyboard, and you have this motion control, which is really cool. So it really negates the need for a trackpad or a mouse. The one thing I did not try was the right mouse click, so let's try that out there. Works perfectly. All in all, I really like this device. I think it's perfect for my setup here, for my home theater PC setup. Let's see how this works with Media Center. Let me bring up Media Center. And let me bring the volume back up here. As you can see in the upper right hand corner, that's my volume there. And in Media Center, really not optimized for the mouse. You really want to use a remote control with Media Center generally, but you can use a mouse. So if you want, you can disable the mouse, as I did right there, and then just use the directional buttons on the device, as you would with a regular remote. So not only is it a good mouse and keyboard when you're using it in a desktop mode, but it is really a good Windows Media Center remote. Very pleased with this device. So that pretty much does it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below, and I'll see you next time.